Salam, dear listeners, and welcome to a fresh episode of Bhajan Classroom from the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center. Today, let's learn a simple bhajan adoring our Lord as Sai Krishna. This is a bhajan which has a glorious history to it, and we will discover all this as we go along. Let's get started getting familiar with the lyrics of the bhajan.
Yadukula Nandana, Sri Madhava, Govinda, Gopala, Krishna, 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 Radha, Krishna, 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 Sai, Krishna, Krishna.
Now that we are familiar with the lyrics, this is how the tune of this bhajan flows.
This bhajan is sung in the scale C Pancham, that is the gent scale, and the ladies' respective scale would be F Pancham. Let us learn the bhajan slowly without any beat. Yadukula Nandana Sri Madhava,
Yadukula Nandana Sri Madhava,
Yadukula Nandana Sri Madhava,
Yadukula Nandana Sri Madhava,
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna,
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna,
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna,
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna.
In the second time, you have a small variation which gives the feel of more calling out to the Lord. Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna.
In the second time, we have a variation. Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna.
So, having learned the tune of the bhajan, let's move on to understand a little more about the technical structure of this bhajan. Anirudh is here to help us. Saram Anirudh.
Saram Bishu.
So, which is the raga that is close to the composition of this bhajan?
Yeah, this beautiful and vibrant bhajan is based on rag Shivaranjani, and it is followed in both streams of music. Probably Shivaranjani notes I might just sing and show. Sa re ga pa dha sa, sa dha pa ga re sa, sa re Shuddhri, ga komal ga, pa dha Shuddha dha, sa da pa ga re sa. There is a bhava of pining and pathos in this rag, and which can be very beautifully demonstrated through the bhajans which are following or based on this raga. For example, if you take Jaya Jagat Janani Ma Amba Jagadodharini Ma, जय जय राम जगदभिराम हे दीनबंधु Sai Ram. So to convey the emotion of Deena Bandhu, compassionate Lord, the raga is so well used there. He Deena Bandhu Sai Ram. And you have many more bhajans. So in Shivaranjani, also there is a usage of the Komal Dha as well. So when you have the raga Mishra Shivaranjani and a little extension of the raga where Sari Ga Pa Dha Sa Da Sari Ga Re Ga 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 Re Sa Dha Dha Pa Ga Re Sa Pa Ga Ga Pa Da Ba Ga Ga हे शिवनंदना जय जगवंदना जय गौरी सुत पाहि गजानना. So I think most of the Shivaranjani bhajans have the lines in the lower octave as well, the higher octave, because I think it becomes complete when you demonstrate going through the high notes and then the emotion is more, and the pining out or the crying out and the pathos and whatever you want to surrender, and those emotions are very very nicely, it can be conveyed through Shivaranjani bhajans.
Sometime back, as I was listening to a great musician, she was saying that every raga is like a living person. And while we associate different feelings to different ragas, at the same time, just like a person can have all kinds of feelings, a raga also can have all kinds of emotions conveyed through them.
Very true.
So while we may associate Shivaranjani with generally for pathos, but at the same time Shivaranjani can also be a raga which can convey a lot of energy, a lot of power also, right?
Absolutely. And even the very beautiful way of using the Shuddha Ga, Pa Pa Ga. Generally the rags which you have Shuddha Ga is more or largely based to say that conveys a happy note,
yes,
or
bright.
a major. In the Western also you call it as major chord.
Yes.
But to use the rag in such a way that along with the major note, but to convey the pathos, and that's the beauty of, I think it's like an ocean where it's so vast, and as you said rightly, the emotions which gets conveyed through the rag is something which is humbling experience for every bhajan singer and musicians.
Yeah, I think it's a never-ending journey discovering all the emotions that are packed in a raga.
Yes. And coming to this bhajan, I think the moment you hear the bhajan, another bhajan comes to your mind which is of the same tune, but the lyrics are different. Any guess?
I think it is Shailagirishwara Uma Maheshwara.
Yes, brother. Shailagirishwara Uma Maheshwara also has the same tune, set to the same tune. शैलगिरीश्वर उमा महेश्वर यदुकुल नंदन श्री हरि माधव काशी विश्वेश्वर सदा शिवा. The first bhajan. And the second bhajan, Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna. It becomes all the more easier to learn this bhajan because you would have already practiced and
Yes.
familiar with one more bhajan.
Yes.
Just that we need to get the lyrics right and practice the bhava along with that.
In fact, as you mentioned this, you find in this ocean of Sai bhajans a lot of such interesting phenomena where you have bhajans where the tune is same but the lyrics are different. Sometimes lyrics are same but the tune is different. Maybe there are many other examples where you have the same tune but the lyrics are different, isn't it?
Yeah, what comes to my mind may not be many example, but one set of bhajans which
Yes.
come to my mind is Jai 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 Gananayaka Jai Jai Vighna Vinashaka and Jai 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 Manamohana Jai 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 Madhusudana. Follow the same tune, but just the lyrics are different.
So the devotees who know Sailagirishwara can easily pick up this bhajan.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, to add, Swami himself has sung Shailagirishwara Uma Maheshwara.
Yes.
So, for the energy and the way he has sung the bhava, we can always go and listen to Swami's way of singing and apply in this bhajan as well. Just the Sada Shiva becomes Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. And to get the bhava, I think it's all the more, it's very interesting to note that Radha is there in this line.
Yes.
So immediately we, it's so helpful to remember the such pure-hearted devotion of Radha
Yes.
and pray for that bhakti and sing the high line.
Since this raga is so amenable to calling out,
Yes.
and when you're calling out Krishna, Radha, I think effortlessly
Exactly.
bhava pours out.
The way Radha calls Krishna itself is an
Yes.
example for us to
Yes.
learn and practice and pray for.
Yes. Absolutely. And definitely this is a bhajan that has been sung in front of Bhagawan in those days.
Yes.
And the very fact that somebody like Girija Bai madam remembers this even till
Yes.
this day means this is a bhajan which was sung several times in the divine physical presence of Bhagavan.
Yes.
And of the hundreds of bhajans that she has sung, this one remains in her mind after so many years, so many decades rather. So it is really a blessing that Bhagavan is helping us relive this bhajan and bring it back
Absolutely.
into our consciousness.
And it is Namavali, so it is very
Simple. Exactly.
Everybody can practice and sing.
Easily.
Yes.
Yes. And I think we are all for a bhajan which is short, sweet, and
yes.
simple.
Yes.
And this one fulfills all those criteria.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go to the swaras.
Yes. So we shall take the first line. Yadukula Nandana Shri Hari Madhava Dasa sa sa sari sadapa Dasa sa sa sari sadapa
Dasa sa sa sari sadapa, dasa sa sa sari sadapa.
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna Pada sada sariri sadagari sa
Pada sada sariri sadagari sa.
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna Gagari Gari Sada Sari Gari
ga ga re sada sa re ga re.
Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna da ga re sa da pa da ga re sa
Da ga re sa da pa da ga re sa.
So that's how the notes of the bhajan flow, and it's relatively a simple bhajan. What is the beat of this bhajan, Anirudh?
The beat of this bhajan is the regular 8 beat, Aditalam or Keherva in the both the streams of music, and it is a faster bhajan, so which is sung towards the end of the bhajan session. Starting speed itself would be Yadukula Nandana Sri Hari Madhava
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 Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna
Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna
Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna
Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna 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 Krishna
Yadukula Nandana Shri Hari Madhava Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna.
Beautiful. I think that gives us a very clear idea of the raga and the beat of the bhajan. Thank you so much, Anirudh and Prabhakar.
Thank you, brother.
Saram brother.
Sairam. And now it's time for the third segment of this program, wherein we learn about the meaning of every word of this bhajan. To help us in this exercise, we have Brother Amey Deshpande with us, a member of the Prashanti Mandir Bhajan group, and over a conversation, he shares with us his reflections and insights on the lyrics and the tune of this bhajan. Saram Amey, and welcome to this Bhava session of this new bhajan. And this is a bhajan which is in adoration of Lord Krishna, and it is short and sweet, but at the same time filled with such potent words, right?
Sairam Vishu, thank you for having me. Sairam everyone, absolutely one of those, they say the smaller the chili, the more spicy it is. This bhajan is something like that. It is extremely short, but has a lot of feelings and emotions in the very, the way the bhajan flows. It's a lot of pining.
And it's a vintage bhajan, and it's a bhajan that Bhagawan has himself heard, and it comes from Girijabai auntie who has sung in front of Bhagawan. So it's always a very refreshing and very heartening experience, when we are bringing back these olden golden bhajans which have been offered in the physical presence of Bhagawan for decades.
Yes.
And in some way, when Swami is giving us back these bhajans, it's really such a welcome thing for all of us. And for us, I think it is so easy now to imagine Bhagawan listening to this bhajan and contemplate how in those days devotees would have offered this bhajan, and like any bhajan, Swami would always say it should be short and sweet and namavali. I think it fits into all that.
Correct. It ticks all the boxes.
Yes.
And also one thing that I noticed when we were hearing the original, when Girijama Garu was singing this, the devotion, the innocence, the style in which those singers would sing, which is so typical of those years, it brings back, it suddenly kind of paints a black and white kind of picture. Yes. The way they would sing the bhajan, the way they would throw their voices was, it had a very unique charm to it. whether you hear Jyotsna Garu singing, or whether you hear Raja Reddy Garu singing, any of those maestros of the yesteryears, they had that something. There was that secret ingredient. It was almost as if the proximity with Swami kind of touched their lives to not only just not just vocal abilities, but something which was more from the heart. From the depths of the heart, and from their interactions with Swami, it was coming out. When they sing, I mean, those are the thoughts that come to my mind.
Again, one more thought on similar lines. Whenever you talk to devotees of those years, all of them refer to those bhajan sessions as something very magical.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't have mics then. Just imagine.
Yes.
You didn't have mics then. You had zero technology then. But everybody talks about those days in such glorious terms that we don't know, how beautiful those times were.
I think it was also because not only, of course, when you hear the devotees of the yesteryears, one thing that keeps coming back again and again, that bhajan sessions were extremely serious sadhana sessions in which the master himself would sit from beginning to end.
Yes.
They were not, think about it, bhajan sessions. Does Swami require bhajans? Does he really need the bhajans? And yet he was the first one to be there, right from the Omkaram, right up to the Arati. So it was the discipline. I think all of those yesteryear singers carry that discipline, the tapas, which you call. And of course, we used to hear that even back in the 50s and 60s, bhajans used to be 3-hour sessions.
Oh, yes.
Right? They were not the current half an hour, 45-minute, where you sit and I still remember even when Swami was in his physical presence, we did not know when the Aarti was.
Correct.
And that uncertainty brought a lot of, today we know everything goes with clockwork precision. So much so that it was almost clinical. We all wait, how come Aarti has not started at 9:30? So I think today we have become a little more kind of clinical, more technical in our presentation. But those devotees had that flavor of tapas, devotion, discipline in their voices.
Swami also constantly urged them onto the spiritual path. As we all know, Bhagawan, if anything, he's just a spiritual master. He's only interested in how we are growing as an individual, whether you're in the bhajan group or whether you're in the seva group.
Correct.
And I think it is because of what that bhajan was doing to them internally that perhaps Bhagawan responded in that manner. And we look at the feel of this bhajan, Yadukula Bhushana, Sri Hari Madhava. I think so many beautiful thoughts come, right?
Absolutely. One of the thoughts that comes is, especially in the second line, when the Krishna, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, there's a pining there. So one of the thoughts that come, that we often think Krishna's life is full of leelas, and he had, he was the Makhan Chor, the Chitta
Divine
Chor,
sport.
Divine sport, Rasa Leela, Rasa Vilola, Nandalala.
Yes.
We felt that wow, what a childhood, playing around, dancing around, taking the cows for grazing and things like that. But one doesn't understand that all the avatars' lives are full of challenges. In fact, more unearthly challenges than any of us could ever imagine. Correct. Imagine, the thought that comes to you, Yadukula Bhushana, when we say, imagine this was a baby who was born in a jail. And right after his birth, he's snatched away from his parents and taken far away in some unknown land of Gokula. And is brought up with some other parents, and even while he's about to settle down over there, he's ruthlessly brought back to Mathura, to kill Kamsa. Imagine all of this in about 10-11 years. It is said that by the time he killed Kamsa Chanura Mardana, he was just 11 years old. So imagine, and the very first Leela of his life, on the very second day after he was brought, Putana Vadha.
Correct.
Somebody feeding that, a little baby poison. Right? And innumerable asuras are unfurled on him to kill him. Right? Whether Shataka Asura or, Bakasura, Krauncha Asura, so much so that even Brahma tries to fool around with him.
Yes. Yeah.
I would say fool around because he is the ultimate power.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that this bhajan kind of probably allows us to think that This is God telling us that, hey, don't think that when you're going through your challenges in life, that my life was a bed of roses. In fact, my life was much more challenging. But through my life, I show you how to lead, how to approach, how to. That is why you see Krishna is always smiling.
Yes.
In spite of the biggest challenges in his life, right? He is all the time smiling.
Yeah. Whether he's called as a Vanshodharaka or a Vanshanashaka.
Nashaka, yes. He is cursed.
Cursed, yeah.
Even his death.
Yeah.
Many people, we do not realize Krishna's death was probably one of the most heinous, ways of dying. Like an animal, he was shot. It is said that the hunter thinks that is his toe is actually a deer. Okay, and he shot like an animal. Imagine Mathura Natha, right? He is the king of Chakravarti, Samrat. He is, and he's killed in such a piteous kind of way. So all the avatars, they walk on the earth only to show us that how to face challenges. And I thought this bhajan kind of, especially that pining part, we can say that, oh Lord, give me that strength to go through the challenges of life.
In fact, so when we are saying Yadukula Bhushana, like he's the crown jewel of the Yadu clan. So he's the crown jewel of the Yadu clan not because he's the one with all wisdom, all power and all glory.
Yes.
It is because he donned the garb of a human and he went through everything and much, much more than a normal human being go through. And still he was smiling.
Yes.
And I think that's a very, very powerful lesson for all of us. And when you think about Krishna's birth, he was born on an Ashtami. Ashtami is considered as the most inauspicious time.
Correct.
Nobody starts anything on an Ashtami day. But God decided to be born on that day, perhaps just to tell us that there will be challenges in life. You will find obstacles which will completely derail you, devastate you. But I am that stroke of light which will banish all your darkness. I am that light for you. I am that hand which will lift all those mountains from your heart. And
Correct.
I think that's a very
and that is why even when we think about Govardhana and even in our Arati, when we say Mandara Giridhari, he is the one who lifts all our burdens. So that is definitely one thought that comes when you hear this bhajan. The other is the word Krishna itself.
Yes.
Right? Swami himself has given us several meanings of the word Krishna. I think he has given three broad meanings which we had covered. We have covered earlier also. But it is worthwhile to go through those because it comes again and again.
Correct.
So obviously the first meaning of the name Krishna is the one who attracts.
Yes. Krishyate iti Krishnaha, which means the one who attracts. Karshate iti Krishnaha means the one who attracts.
Yes. So then we have the word Krishiti, which is also the root word for Krishna, which means the one who plows the hearts, the barren lands of our hearts and sows, as Bhagawan very beautifully says in his poem, Prema Amrutamula Pempunda, Prema Varshamuto, right?
Prema Sudha Varashimpaga.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he starts with Prema Rahita Maru Bhumulalo, Premam Kuramula Pempunda, Premam Veshamuto. So he's the one who actually plows the lands of our heart.
The barren heart.
Barren hearts and makes it into a fertile soil where love and compassion can sprout forth. So that's another beautiful meaning of the word Krishna. And then the third one is the one who gives bliss.
Yes.
Right? So the one who is constantly, who is very present in our life. In fact, that is why they say that whenever we usually say, oh God, I have a big problem. Right? In fact, they say just flip it around and say, oh problem, I have a big God. Yeah, smile at the face of challenges. Because he is the one who gives us bliss. Right? So I think that's also such a beautiful way of contemplating on the Lord. The one who constantly, when there is God in our lives, there is nothing to worry. There is nothing to have a castor oil face, as Swami would say.
Yes.
Right? Yendukura, he would
always.
I am there here.
Yes.
Right? Even when Girijamma Garu was speaking, she was mentioning that one day, I think Mohan Rao Garu was saying, Ao Sai Narayana Darshana Dijo. The bhajan, Ao Sai Narayana Darshana Dijo. So Swami was already in the bhajan hall, and Swami said, Nin vachan ra, and then I've already come. Why are you asking me to come, So when we already have him in our lives, what else can it be other than bliss? So I was just thinking, how having Swami in our lives, we cannot even imagine how utterly fortunate we are having an avatar in our lives. Today I think more than ever before, we can contemplate and we can congratulate ourselves, and we can be absolutely, supremely blissful to know that, what, I have been touched by God. None other than God himself. Right? So, yeah.
No, absolutely. In fact, just these three meanings of the word Krishna is enough, more than enough, for us to contemplate on any Krishna bhajan. Actually, when you think about what this bhajan is doing to me, what this avatar, this God in my life is doing to me, I think there is nobody for whom, when the word Krishna is uttered, does not give joy. And I think it is one of those words of the Lord, which I remember even in the Radha Krishna drama that Bhagawan directed, during the 60th birthday in 1985. So there are some songs where Radha is singing out of pain. And Swami says, because Swami was correcting Brother S. Kumar, who was singing those songs of pathos, Swami says, no. Even when you're singing this, in the bhajan which is full of pathos, when the word Krishna comes, that has to be only in joy. That cannot be in pathos. Because Krishna and pathos cannot go together. The whole song can be sad, but the moment Krishna comes, it is only joy.
Beautiful.
So I think,
it is also said about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes.
That a great Sanskrit scholar who had a what would say, very successful career as a Sanskrit teacher. Eventually, when he had that breakthrough realization, and he, it seems, starts to teach after the realization, after seeing Krishna everywhere, he wouldn't be able to teach, the basics of grammar, because the Sanskrit language starts with ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. And the very first word ka, when he says, his mind used to go to Krishna. And he would go into samadhi, it seems. And after that, the rest of the alphabets would never get sung. I was just thinking, what a situation to be in. If you hear Sa, Sai must always come. Whenever we hear Ra, Radha must come, or Rama must come. When we hear Ka, Krishna must come.
And this bhajan, in the last line, talks about Sai Krishna.
Yes.
And we can so beautifully map everything that we have seen in Krishna's life to Bhagawan's own life.
Absolutely.
Swami, again the avatar, he donned a human form. He could have been born anywhere else. He could have chosen different family, different circumstances, but he also decided to go through every pain that
unimaginable pain. Physical, mental,
emotional. I mean, we all know about Bhagawan's childhood, but at the same time, Swami said, when devotees asked Swami, why did you do this? You could have chosen something else. But Swami said, no. I am here to tell you what is acceptance, what is tolerance, what is unconditional love. And I think whenever an avatar comes, and that's why they are avatars,
yes,
they have descended only to help us ascend. And our ascension cannot happen unless we cultivate these virtues.
Correct.
And the avatar comes to teach us. And I think this bhajan is again one more medium for that upliftment.
Yes, and that is why he's called Yadukula Bhushana. All avatar, whether he's Raghukula Bhushana or Yadukula Bhushana.
Or Ratnakarakula Bhushana.
Yes, Ratnakarakula Bhushana. It is that Bhushana is because of not only their descent, but having descended, they help millions to ascend. And that is why they become the crest jewel of humanity.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, brother. I know, we can go on.
We can go on and on, yes.
But it's really some beautiful thoughts, whatever Bhagawan gave us. And I think um, all of us should contemplate on our own, because every bhajan, every word is a beautiful medium for meditation. And I think
Yes.
as we do that, we will experience that bliss that is Krishna, that bliss that is Sai in our own hearts, in our own way.
Let us all pray to him that we take these bhajans as formulas for us to kind of connect with him, bridges which we can walk on and finally merge and meet our Swami.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
So that was Amay Deshpande from the Prasanthi Mandir Bhajan group. And with that, we move on to the last segment of this program. We will now listen to the Prasanthi Mandir live version of this bhajan. As you listen, do sing along.
Yadukula Nandana Sri Hari Madhava. Yadukula Nandana Sri Hari Madhava. Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna. Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna. Yadukula Nandana Sri Hari Madhava. Govinda Gopala Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna Sai Krishna Krishna. Yadukula Nandana Sri Hari Madhava.
So this brings us to the end of the current episode of Bhajan Classroom. We hope to offer you many more such episodes in the coming weeks, so that we can bring back the olden golden melodies and also add to this ocean that is Sai Bhajans. If you have any queries or comments, as always, you can write to listener at sssmediacenter.org or share your comments in the comment section of this video. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.